Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, the Hack Scott from NYC Razor here, and today we are back with week 2 of season 6 of the NPL. And this week we are going up against IronFlashGaming, a really good friend of mine in the league, and the Detroit Butterfrees. Now, this is a ridiculously scary matchup. I know Zazo is a very good player. He's probably comparable to Gypsy King in my opinion, and the fact that and just pure battling ability. And his team is very scary as well. He has a lot of offensive threats: the Buzzwole, Kiram, Mew, Greninja, all things that threaten my team. And this is just, for me, this is just a really hard, really important matchup, because after getting the 5-0 in week 1 against Riz, I really want to be able to keep the ball rolling. So, getting into the team a little bit. Here we have Tabu Koko, Nishinoya, Guardian of Karasuno guarding the Chicago Bewears. If you guys get that reference, you're cool. But this is a really interesting set that I actually think is good against his team. Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Roost. Now he does have Stunfisk, which is actually a really huge threat to my team, believe it or not, because sets like this, Tapu Koko just pretty much cannot touch it. Even at +2, I think a full Spadef Stunfisk is 2-hit KO'd. And he can still do a lot to me with Earth Power. That's pretty much why I have Roost, but the other thing the Stunfisk can do is it could tox Tapu Koko, which is pretty much making it useless. Stunfisk just as a wall in general for my team is very, very annoying to deal with. Like, it's very surprising. Discharge just paralyzed my entire team. Toxic for threats like the Cresselia or the Garchomp or this. Earth Power for this, for the Heliolisk. It's just a ridiculous wall, like, against my team. It's actually really, really good. So I do heavily expect him to bring it this game. But with Stunfisk out of the way, I do think that this Tapu Koko set would be able to sweep his team. Going into Garchomp, aka Jabberjaw, I really did think a Choice Scarf Chomp would be good this game. The only thing would be is I was debating this before the game if I would have to bring Iron Head or possibly Fire Blast for the Buzzwole. I was going over the team and I was debating whether I should bring that. I thought it was a really good idea at the time, but I just kind of kept Iron Head in respect for some of the mons on his team, but in hindsight, it honestly didn't really do anything. I kind of kept it as just a neutral move to hit stuff with if I needed it. But overall, I do think that this set is actually really good against his team. Earthquake 2-hit KOs Mega Blastoise if he switches it on, and Outrage pretty much does a lot to the rest of his team. He doesn't have any fair resist besides the Gardevoir, which I guess Iron Head's good for in this situation. I also just have Snow and Edge for things like Thunderous Eye, maybe Buzzwole. And I do have the ability to run Adamant Scarf against this team, just because Choice Scarf Garchomp just with max speed outspeeds anything on his team. So I think this is actually just really good offensive set to be able to bring against his team. It definitely poses a threat, in my opinion. Then we have Scizor, Big Meaty Claws. I put enough speed on this thing to speed creep Mega Blastoise, which I think is pretty good. I think it was a pretty good idea at the time. Then I put the rest in HP, Adamant Max Attack. Kind of just sort of a setup U-turn sort of Scizor. It's not that great against this team, but Scizor was definitely one of the better options that I had to bring, especially with the Bullet Punch priority for things like the Thundurus or Greninja or the Mew or the Kiram. Just general stuff like that. I thought the Bullet Punch priority was really good. If I could set up a Swords Dance too, that's great. But it's pretty much a U-turn pivot for his team. Then we have Space Duck, the Cresselia, the Majestic Space Duck. Originally, I had T-Wave on the set. I changed it to Calm Mind after some of my mocks, because T-Wave wasn't really helping me out that much. I probably should, but I am also Spadef, because a lot of the threats on his team, to me and the Cresselia, are special. Basically the Greninja, the Thunderous Eye, and the Mew. So I thought this was actually pretty decent to bring. Moonlight, Shadow Ball for the Mew, and Moonblast. I don't have Stab on this thing because I do respect the Mew a lot this game, which is, I guess, kind of bad for the set, but the Mew really is a threat, especially since it is Z-move capable, have the Genesis Supernova, which is very scary. So I put Shadow Ball on this in respect to being able to take on the Mew a little bit better, besides just having Moonblast. Then we have Mr. Miyagi Alakazam. Again, another Call My Mom. We have 3 Call My Moms. With Cresselia, Tapu Koko, and now Alakazam. But this set is actually really good. I used this set in Mox. It was very useful. I actually really liked it, especially coming in on stuff like the Stunfisk, I guess. Psychic over Psyshock for Buzzwole, Shadow Ball, Calm Mind, and during the game, I very, very, very much heavily considered putting Energy Ball on this set, because Energy Ball was a great move against his team. But in respect to the Kyurem Black on his team, I really did think Focus Blast was better in respect to Kyurem Black and Registeel, I guess, if he did decide to bring that against my team. So so I kept Focus Blast on for the game. I do think Energy Ball probably would have been a better move to use, but bringing Focus Blast is still really good. It's a very strong move, if I can hit it, that is. But in respect to the Kyurem, I did think Focus Blast was a better move, even though I pretty much heavily debated putting Energy Ball before the game. But this set does, I believe, have the potential not to sweep his entire team, but to definitely take out a really good chunk of it, because the only thing that can really switch on this thing is Greninja. And maybe if I can set up a Calm Mind, I can live a Dark Pulse and hit with Focus Blast, or I can use Focus Blast to predict it. Or if I wanted to put Energy Ball, I can just not miss and kill it. But I did keep Focus Blast. And then we do have Crobat. And I was playing around with this set a lot during Mox. Originally, it was actually a special Crobat to be able to take on the Buzzwole, then turned into a defensive Crobat, and now it turned into a Choice Banded Crobat. I think this set is pretty good. I definitely probably should have brought something else. I didn't 100% like this set or the Scissor set going into the battle, honestly. But I did think that this was probably the best thing I can bring besides the special Crobat. So, definitely probably my best option. I do think. So, Brave Bird, Leech Light, Quick Attack, U-Turn, basically pretty standard choice band set, probably barring Quick Attack, but you never know when you need it. So, this is pretty much the team. And now we're going to be getting into... Hey guys, we're back, and now it is time for the battle. Getting into the team preview right here. He didn't bring the Kyurem Black. So this kind of shocked me, kind of put me in for a surprise, because I did think Kyurem Black was a very huge threat against my team. I guess he thought I would over prep for it and then under prep for everything else, which is kind of true. I did, like I was saying in the team preview before, in the team builder, I did only have the Focus Blast on the Zam really for the Kyurem. So right now I was thinking, like, crap, I should have brought Energy Ball. I probably misplayed right there with that. And then also the Iron Head on Garchomp pretty much became useless. So probably putting Fire Blast on there was also a really good decision. But I pretty much doubted myself a lot when I was trying to make those edits. And it pretty much hurt me a lot going into this game. He did bring the Buzzwole, which I did think he would bring. He brought the Stunfisk, he brought the Mew, he brought the Greninja, he brought the Thundurus. Mega Blastoise I kind of expected, It's a very good defensive bulky mon against my team that can hit hard with Scald Ice Beam. It's just very Dark Pulse for Cresselia in general. But with the Cure and Black not there, I was thinking that I did have a really good chance. I thought I really had a good chance. But we're gonna see how it plays out. Going into the battle, I do lead off with the Crobat as he leads off with the Stunfisk. Now, for those of you who don't know, Stunfisk is a really big threat to my team. It is actually probably one of the scariest mons Zazo has on that team, that against my team. It really is. Like, it's a freaking pancake, but that thing's gonna freaking butter me up and put syrup on me if I let it run wild. Like, that thing is actually really scary. So right here, I pretty much, to avoid getting the static, I pretty much just switch straight down to Chomp, and maybe thinking that I can do something against it, I did go for an Earthquake as he goes into the Buzzwole. Now, that damage, that is not even HP invested Buzzwole. That is just natural Buzzwole bulk. So that's no defense investment, that's no HP investment, that's just natural Buzzwole bulk. So at this point in the match, I did think that he was a just max attack speedy Buzzwole to be able to outspeed things like my Scizor and my Cresselia. So that's actually really scary to me right now. It's pretty horrifying because Buzzwole does have the potential to just destroy my team. Right now, right here, I'm gonna go into Scizor. Because I can take a good hit from the Buzzwole and just U-turn out. He does go into the Blastoise, and like I said in the team builder before, I did have enough HP, enough speed on this to speed creep Mega Blastoise, but he turns out to actually have enough speed to speed creep my Cresselia, which means he is able to get the Scald off me and burn the Scizor, which doesn't really matter that much because Scizor was a pretty useless mon in this game, but it does hurt. It does hurt. I do get decent damage off here with the U-turn. It still did 14% with the burn, so that's pretty good. And here I go into Tapu Koko. Now, this was probably one of the worst plays that I could have made. It was a very good offensive pivot play, but as you can see, right now, he's just going to go into the Stunfisk. I'm going to set up a Calm Mind. I'm going to set up 2, and he's going to Toxic me. And this, I'm pretty sure, is the moment where the game fell apart. I should have went into something else. I probably should have went into something like Cresselia, but I did think Cresselia did have the potential to sweep the team if I could set up. But later on in the game, Tapu Koko was just too useful to be able to give up, and it's really going to hurt me losing this thing to the Stunfisk. Because right here, I'm going to be able to get off a Dazzling Gleam. That did 55% to a Stunfisk. That thing is specially defensive bulky. That thing is a monster. And now, I don't even have the potential of Roost up here because I am Toxic with a Life Orb. So my only play is to just go for another Dazzling Gleam here, as he does go into the Mew, which takes 52%, which is good damage on the Mew, which is a big threat to my team. But Tapu Koko, probably one of the biggest threats on my team to him, is now dead, which is very scary because Tapu Koko was very crucial in this match against his team, and it would have been very good later on, as you can see. Because right now I'm going to go into Crobat, and I'm just going to hit him with a Brave Bird. I'm sorry for the replay. The replays downloaded for some reason. The game was it wasn't saved properly. So here he's going to go into his Stunfisk, and I know I can't one-shot it with a Brave Bird, so I'm just going to switch out, as he does go into the Blastoise, predicting my Garchomp, and I'm going to sack off Scizor here to a Dark Pulse. And now here I get another I go for another pretty aggressive play, which is I go into my Alakazam and I start setting up Calm Minds because I know that I can live a Dark Pulse and then it's a roll with Psychic to be able to kill the Blastoise, but I needed the offensive pressure to just be there for me to possibly win the match. because at that moment in time I had no offensive pressure whatsoever. It only does 70%, which is a lot less than it should have done, so he's not max special attack, or he's not modest. That means. So here is where Energy Ball would have made the difference this game, because here I do go for Psychic, and he didn't respect the energy. Now this play, in my mind, I just got really tilted off of this play. I thought that he would have more respect for the Energy Ball this game, but he just went straight out into Greninja, which honestly screwed me this game with him. If I did have Energy Ball, it would have been a lot different, I believe. But me just getting caught out with the Greninja here was just horrible, because Energy Ball would have been able to kill. He was not sashed, and I think it probably could have changed the tide of the game if I did hit the Energy Ball. If I did bring the Energy Ball. And as you can see with the Garchomp play too, a couple turns ago, if I had Fire Blast on the predicted Buzzwole switching, the Buzzwole probably would have died, or would have gained a lot more momentum on pressure and offensive pressure than I would have had. And those two mistakes in my prep just hurt me a lot this game, because now Greninja's just able to outspeed and kill the Alakazam. So my only play here is to go into Crobat, and maybe thinking that the Greninja was sashed. I did go for a Leech Life, thinking that he can probably live, and then maybe I can get HP back. But he does just go into Thundurus here, and he starts going for Dark Pulses. Now, as you can see, he doesn't reveal to have an item right here. He did mention to me after the game that Thundurus was Scarf, but for some reason Crobat's still outspeed, which I don't know. Maybe Alakazam would have been able to outspeed him. Maybe the EVs were messed up. But here, he can just go into Stunfisk, Toxic my Cresselia. But I do switch out into the Garchomp, thinking that he is going to go for Toxic. He does, but he misses. And here, I just click the Desperation Outrage, because that's pretty much my best play. So Garchomp does go in, and he takes out the Mega Blastoise. I do only get the 2-turn Outrage, which isn't crucial, because I don't end up hitting myself. But here he goes into the Buzzwole, and he goes for a Bulk. And this is pretty much where the game just ends, unless I can crit here, which would be amazing. But it doesn't happen. And he just goes for Roosts. And this is just the game. So I'm a Garchomp, stuck in an Outrage. I can't switch into Cresselia because of that. But that is the game. Unless I can crit here, which I don't. And he's just going to keep going for Roosts. And yeah, that's pretty much the game. It's a very disappointing loss against a good player, though. So congratulations, Zazo, on the win. It was definitely a very one-sided game, though, in terms of my prep against his, which that just makes me feel very disappointed in myself and my prep and how I played the game. But Zazo is a great battler. I didn't go into this thing really expecting to win. I did expect to get smashed. I didn't expect to get smashed this bad. 4-0, pretty much negating our 5-0 win from week 1. So, good job to Zazo. Good win. If you don't know who Zazo IronFlashGaming is, the link to his channel will be in the description below. Go check him out. He's an amazing battler. He really is. And if you guys want to see more NPL content on my channel, please subscribe to support the Chicago Bewears. Beat up that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'm out.